All right, this video is a demonstration of the IDF, inductive film sensor from SICK. This sensor is ideal for detecting double layers and foil stacking processes. Big example of this is in the battery production. That's a huge challenge. So this sensor is made to reliably detect whether a suction gripper has picked up one or several films and ensure that the unwanted double film is immediately sorted out. Small size, but it is an inductive proc, so unfortunately that means short sensing range. So there's an M8 version that has a 2mm max sensing range and an M12 version, which is what I'm connected to now, which has a 4mm. So really just detecting films, not really any thicker metals. What you're seeing here is the main SOPAS screen, and it does give me a sensing range. This is a unitless value. This may or may not mean anything to you. We can kind of look after we do a teach-in, but really all we're looking for is this layer detection. Right now it shows no layers. I haven't really taught anything in, so it shows no layer, but it also gives me the status of output 1 and output 2 on pins 2 and 4. These are going to tell you if it's a single or a double. But what I have for the setup is I have two thin sheets of aluminum foil, and I also have a little piece of thin plastic, clear plastic. In the teach process, it tells me to keep the same distance to the material between step 1 and step 2, because if you're picking up, most likely the sensor has to be on the same side as the suction gripper. So when it picks it up, it has to be looking from that same side. So a double foil, the second piece of foil would be on the back side of what's taught in. So the distance to the sensor is going to be the same, and this is to teach it at that same distance. Is there one foil or is there an additional foil on the back side? So that's why I have this one piece of plastic. I literally have the sensor on, just touching the plastic. So just to make sure that the sensing distance remains the same. So I'm going to put two pieces of foil underneath and hit start teach-in and teach this as 2 layers. And then I'm going to back one of those sheets out. It's good enough. And teach this as a single layer. Got 2 check marks. Everything looks to be good. Go back to the home screen. And pin 4, Q1, is on. And it's telling me 1 layer. So as long as Q4 or Q1 is on, pin 4 is hot, then it's telling me I have 1 layer. If I move this other piece back in, it gives me an X, 2 layers, and Q2 or pin 2 is on. Move it back out, 1 layer, move it back in, 2 layers, take them both out, no layers, and neither of the outputs are on. So it looks like a really robust signal here. The thing about the sensing range is, so if I have 2 layers in here, it might be better if I go to the teach. You can see where my current sensing range is, and numerically it's about 4,300 for 2 layers, and then if I move 1 layer out, it's showing me about 2,900. So really good difference between these two, meaning it's a really robust signal. If these 2 lines were closer together, maybe if the foil was a little bit thinner and made it harder to detect the difference between the two, if these 2 lines were closer together, it might have a tougher time doing it. But since there's so much difference in the 2 distance values, that's a pretty robust solution for this application. So looks like it worked out pretty well. It's pretty simple. There are no teach buttons on the sensor itself, so if you wanted to teach this in, you'd have to use SOPAS like I'm doing here, or you'd have to send bits over IO-Link and configure it that way. So let us know if you have any questions. Thanks.